Most people waste 8 hours every single night doing absolutely nothing with their minds. And then they wonder why their lives never change. If I told you that the moments right before you fall asleep are the most powerful moments you will ever experience, what you're about to discover will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about sleep, consciousness, and transformation. This isn't about affirmations or wishful thinking. This is about an ancient practice that rewires your brain at the deepest level possible. Before we go any further, you need to understand something critical. Your subconscious mind doesn't sleep, ever. While your body rests, your mind is processing, organizing, and creating the blueprint for tomorrow. And here's what nobody talks about. The last thoughts you feed your mind before sleep become the seeds that grow in the darkness. Most people plant weeds. Then they wake up and wonder why their garden looks terrible. The state between waking and sleeping, there's a specific moment that happens every single night. You're lying there, your body starts to relax, your thoughts begin to drift. This is not just tiredness. This is a gateway. Ancient practitioners understood this state better than modern science ever could. They called it threshold, the place where your conscious mind loosens its grip and your subconscious becomes incredibly receptive. Think about how a child learns. They absorb everything without questioning, without resistance. Their minds are open, unfiltered, pure reception. When you're falling asleep, your mind returns to this state. The critical filter that usually protects you from new information, that voice that says that's impossible or I can't do that, it goes quiet. This is when real change becomes possible. But here's the problem. Most people use this precious time to replay their worst moments. They review every mistake they made that day. They worry about tomorrow. They replay arguments, they stress about money. And their subconscious mind, which can't tell the difference between imagination and reality, starts building tomorrow based on these blueprints of fear and limitation. Your subconscious is like soil. It doesn't judge the seeds you plant. It just grows whatever you give it. Plant fear, grow anxiety. Plant doubt, grow failure. Plant limitation, grow a limited life. The practice we're discussing tonight changes everything because it teaches you to plant the right seeds at the exact moment when your mind is most fertile. Let me explain what's actually happening in your brain during this transition. When you're wide awake and going about your day, your brain is operating in what scientists call beta waves. This is your normal waking consciousness. You're alert, you're thinking, you're analyzing everything around you. Your conscious mind is in full control, filtering every piece of information that comes your way. It's like having a security guard at the door of your mind, deciding what gets in and what stays out. But as you start to wind down for the night, something remarkable begins to happen. Your brain waves start to slow down. You move from beta into alpha, which is a more relaxed state. You've probably felt this. It's that moment when you're still aware of your surroundings, but you're starting to feel a bit dreamy, a bit detached from the stress of the day. This is nice, but it's not the gateway we're talking about yet. The real magic happens when you transition from alpha into theta. This is the state right before you fall asleep completely. Your body is deeply relaxed. Your breathing has slowed down. Your heart rate has dropped. And most importantly, that security guard we talked about, your conscious mind, has clocked out for the night. It's no longer filtering information. It's no longer questioning everything. It's no longer protecting you from new ideas and new ways of being. In theta, you're in the same brain state as someone in deep meditation. Monks who've practiced for decades can enter theta while fully awake. But you, without any training at all, enter this state naturally every single night. You just haven't been taught how to use it. Think about that for a second. You have access to the same mental state that meditation masters work years to achieve, and it happens automatically every time you go to sleep. This theta state is where your subconscious mind is most open and suggestible. Not suggestible in a weak way, but suggestible in the sense that it's ready to receive and accept new programming. It's like your mind's operating system is open for updates. During the day, your conscious mind rejects most updates. It says things like, "That's not realistic," or "I've never been that way," or "People like me don't do that." But in theta, these objections disappear. Your subconscious is ready to accept whatever you give it. Now here's what makes this so powerful. Whatever thoughts and feelings you're experiencing as you drift into this theta state, those are the instructions your subconscious receives. If you're lying there replaying an argument you had, your subconscious is receiving the instruction that conflict is normal, expected, and part of your reality. If you're worrying about money, your subconscious is receiving the instruction that you're someone who struggles with money. If you're stressed about tomorrow, your subconscious is receiving the instruction that life is stressful and overwhelming. And because your subconscious can tell the difference between something that's actually happening and something you're vividly imagining, it treats all of these thoughts as real events. It's not judging whether these thoughts are true or false, helpful or harmful. It's just taking them in and using them to shape your beliefs, your behaviors, and your automatic responses to life. This is why people stay stuck in the same patterns year after year. They're accidentally programming themselves every single night to be exactly who they already are, to experience exactly what they've always experienced. They go to sleep stressed, they dream about stress, they wake up stressed, and they wonder why their life never changes. They don't realize they're reinforcing their own prison every night during the most powerful programming window they have. But when you understand this gateway, when you understand that this threshold state is a direct line to your subconscious mind, everything changes, because now you can use it intentionally. Instead of accidentally programming yourself with worry and fear, you can deliberately program yourself with whatever qualities, states, and beliefs you want to embody. You can plant seeds of peace instead of seeds of anxiety. You can plant seeds of confidence instead of seeds of doubt. You can plant seeds of abundance instead of seeds of lack. The ancient practitioners who discovered this weren't scientists with brain scanning equipment. They didn't have studies and research papers. They just paid very close attention to their own minds. They noticed that the moments before sleep felt different. They noticed that what they thought about before sleep seemed to influence their dreams and their waking life. And they developed practices to harness this natural gateway that every human being passes through each night, understanding the architecture of your mind. Your mind operates on two levels, and most people only know one of them. The conscious mind is what you're using right now to read these words, to think, to analyze. It's logical. It questions everything. It's also weak. It controls maybe 5 to 10% of your actual behavior and results. The subconscious mind is different. It's running in the background all the time. It controls your heartbeat, your breathing, your immune system. It also controls your habits, your automatic reactions, your deep beliefs about yourself and the world. And here's the key: it controls about 90 to 95% of your life. Everything you do automatically, without thinking, That's your subconscious running the show. Now, during the day, these two minds are in constant communication. But the conscious mind is dominant. It filters everything. It protects you from change, even positive change, because change feels dangerous to the survival part of your brain. But when you start falling asleep, something shifts. The conscious mind begins to shut down. And for a brief window, maybe 15 to 30 minutes, your subconscious becomes directly accessible. This is not theory. Brain scans show that during this transition into sleep, your brain enters what's called the theta state. This is the same state that happens during deep meditation, during hypnosis, during moments of profound insight. In theta, your brain waves slow down, your analytical mind takes a back seat, and your subconscious opens up like a flower at dawn. People spend thousands on therapy, on courses, on books, trying to change their lives, and that's all fine. But if you're not working with your mind during this theta window before sleep, you're missing the most powerful opportunity you have every single day. This is when you can install new programs, new beliefs, new patterns that will run automatically once they take root. Let me give you an example of how these two minds work together in daily life. Imagine you want to start exercising regularly. Your conscious mind decides this is a good idea. It makes a plan. It sets goals. It feels motivated. So you start. For the first few days or maybe even weeks, you have to consciously remind yourself to exercise. You have to force yourself to do it. You have to use willpower. This is your conscious mind driving the behavior. But here's what happens for most people. After a while, the initial motivation fades. The conscious mind gets tired of having to force the behavior, and eventually, you stop. Why? Because the subconscious mind was never programmed to exercise. Your subconscious still identifies you as someone who doesn't exercise. So every time your conscious mind tries to make you exercise, your subconscious is working against it. It makes you feel tired. It gives you excuses. It pulls you back to your old patterns. Now compare that to someone who has successfully made exercise a habit. They don't have to force themselves anymore. They don't need motivation. They just do it automatically. Why? Because their subconscious mind has been reprogrammed. Their subconscious now identifies them as someone who exercises. So the behavior happens naturally, without effort, without willpower. The subconscious is running the show, and it's running a program that supports their goals. This is true for everything in your life. Your relationships, your career, your health, your emotional patterns. All of it is primarily controlled by your subconscious programming. Your conscious mind can want to be confident, but if your subconscious believes you're someone who's anxious and insecure, anxiety is what you'll experience most of the time. Your conscious mind can want to be wealthy, but if your subconscious believes you're someone who struggles with money, struggle is what you'll experience. The frustrating thing is that your conscious mind can't just tell your subconscious what to do. You can't think your way into new subconscious programming. You can read all the books, take all the courses, understand all the concepts, but if your subconscious isn't on board, nothing changes at the level of your actual lived experience. This is why people can know exactly what they need to do to improve their lives, but still can't seem to do it. Their conscious mind knows, but their subconscious doesn't believe it. So how does the subconscious mind learn? How does it accept new programming? It learns through repetition and emotion. When you repeat a thought or behavior enough times with emotional intensity, your subconscious starts to accept it as true. This is why traumatic experiences can create such deep patterns. They're emotionally intense and they get replayed mentally over and over. The subconscious learns this is important, this is real, this is who we are now. This same mechanism can be used intentionally for positive change. When you repeatedly imagine yourself being a certain way and you generate the actual feeling of being that way, your subconscious starts to learn. It starts to accept this new identity. And this learning happens much faster when you do it during that theta window before sleep, because that's when your conscious mind's resistance is at its lowest. Think of your conscious mind as the goal setter and your subconscious as the goal achiever. Your conscious mind can decide you want to be peaceful, but your subconscious determines whether you actually experience peace in your daily life. Your conscious mind can decide you want to be successful, but your subconscious determines whether you take the actions and make the choices that lead to success. You need both minds working together, pointing in the same direction. The problem is that most people's conscious and subconscious minds are working against each other. Consciously, they want one thing, but subconsciously, they're programmed for something completely different. This creates internal conflict, frustration, and a sense of being stuck. You feel like you're trying so hard but getting nowhere. That's because 95% of you, the subconscious part, is pulling in a different direction than the 5%, the conscious part, that's trying to change. When you learn to reprogram your subconscious intentionally, especially during that powerful window before sleep, you align both minds. You give your subconscious the same instructions your conscious mind wants to follow. And when that happens, change becomes natural, easy, automatic. You stop feeling like you're fighting yourself. You start experiencing what it's like when all of you is moving in the same direction. The practice of evening reconstruction. So how do you actually use this knowledge? It starts with what you do in the hour before bed. Most people watch the news, scroll through social media, watch violent shows, argue with family members. Then they wonder why they have nightmares or wake up feeling terrible. Everything you consume in the evening is extra powerful because it's the last thing your mind processes before entering that theta gateway. The first step is creating a clear transition. You need a boundary between your day and your sleep. This doesn't mean you need some complicated ritual. It just means you consciously decide that the last hour belongs to you and your mind. No news, no drama, no stimulation that creates stress or fear. Instead, you begin what the old masters called evening reconstruction. You sit quietly, even just for 10 minutes, and you review your day, but not the way most people do it. You're not judging yourself. You're not replaying your failures. You're extracting wisdom. You look at each moment and ask, what did this teach me? Where did I act from my highest self? Where did I react from old patterns? And most importantly, how do I want to be tomorrow? This review process does something crucial. It completes the day. It stops your mind from endlessly looping through unfinished business while you're trying to sleep. You're telling your subconscious, we learned from today, now we can move forward. This alone will improve your sleep quality dramatically. But the real power comes in what you do next. After you've reviewed and released the day, you begin to construct tomorrow. not by planning every detail, but by choosing your state. You ask yourself, how do I want to experience tomorrow? What qualities do I want to embody? Peace, confidence, focus, compassion. You choose consciously and deliberately. Let me walk you through exactly what this looks like in practice. You've finished your day. You've done whatever you needed to do. Now it's that last hour before sleep. You turn off the TV. You put your phone on silent, or, better yet, in another room. You dim the lights. You're creating an environment that signals to your nervous system that it's time to shift gears. This isn't about perfection, it's about intention. You're drawing a line between the chaos of the day and the sacredness of your evening practice. You sit somewhere comfortable. It doesn't have to be formal meditation posture. Just somewhere you can be still and present. And you begin to review your day, not in a judging way, not in a critical way, but as an observer. You mentally walk back through the day from the moment you woke up until now. You see the interactions you had, the decisions you made, the emotions you felt. You're not trying to change anything or wish anything was different. You're just observing. As you observe, you start to notice patterns. Maybe you notice that you got defensive when someone criticized your work. Maybe you notice that you felt peaceful when you were working on a project you care about. Maybe you notice that you snapped at someone because you were hungry and tired. These observations aren't judgments. They're just information. They're feedback about who you were today and how you move through the world. Then you ask yourself the important questions. What did I learn today? What moments am I proud of? Where did I show up as the person I want to be? Where did I fall back into old patterns? What would I do differently if I could replay this day? These questions help you extract wisdom from your experiences. Every day is full of lessons if you take the time to look for them. This process of evening reconstruction does something most people never do. It creates completion. Most people go to sleep with their minds still churning through the day's events. They're still upset about something that happened. They're still worried about something they have to do. They're still replaying conversations and situations. Their minds never get closure, so they take all of that unfinished business into sleep with them. When you consciously review your day and extract its lessons, you're telling your mind that the day is complete. You learned what you needed to learn. You saw what you needed to see. Now you can let it go. This creates a sense of peace that makes falling asleep so much easier. Your mind doesn't have to keep processing because you've already processed. You've already completed the day consciously, so your subconscious can relax. But the reconstruction doesn't stop with reviewing the past. The real power comes when you start constructing the future. After you've reviewed and completed today, you begin to visualize tomorrow, not by planning every detail or trying to control outcomes, but by choosing your internal state. You ask yourself, who do I want to be tomorrow? How do I want to feel? What qualities do I want to embody? Maybe you choose peace. You visualize yourself moving through tomorrow's challenges with a calm center. You see yourself breathing deeply when stress arises. You see yourself responding instead of reacting. You feel what it feels like to be peaceful right now, in this moment, as you're sitting here before sleep. You're not wishing for peace tomorrow. You're generating peace right now and programming your subconscious to carry this state forward. Or maybe you choose confidence. You visualize yourself speaking up in that meeting tomorrow. You see yourself expressing your ideas clearly. You see yourself handling criticism without getting defensive. You feel what confidence feels like in your body. The posture, the breathing, the energy. And you're doing this while your conscious mind is starting to relax and your subconscious is becoming more receptive. The key is that you're not just thinking about these things, you're feeling them. Your subconscious learns through emotion and sensation, not just through words and ideas. When you generate the actual feeling of being peaceful or confident or focused right now, before you sleep, you're giving your subconscious a direct experience to learn from. You're showing it what this state feels like so it can recognize it and recreate it tomorrow. Programming through visualization. Here's where most people get it wrong with visualization. They try to imagine specific outcomes. They picture the car they want, the relationship they want, the bank account they want. And that's fine, but it's surface level. Your subconscious doesn't really care about stuff. It cares about states. It cares about how you feel. The practice as you prepare for sleep is to visualize yourself moving through tomorrow in your desired state. See yourself waking up energized. See yourself handling challenges with calm. See yourself speaking with confidence. See yourself treating others with kindness. See yourself making decisions from clarity instead of fear. And here's the critical part. You don't just see these things, you feel them. You generate the actual emotion in your body right now before sleep. Your subconscious mind learns through feeling and repetition. When you repeatedly feel yourself being calm, being confident, being focused right before you sleep, you're literally training your nervous system to default to these states. Think about athletes. They visualize their performance and over. They see the perfect shot, the perfect move, the perfect game, and their bodies learn. Their muscles develop memory. Their reflexes sharpen. They're programming their subconscious to execute automatically when the moment comes. You're doing the exact same thing, but instead of programming a physical skill, you're programming your way of being. This isn't pretending. This isn't fake positivity. This is strategic mental training at the exact time when your brain is most receptive to it. You're essentially hacking the system that already exists. Every night, your mind is going to process something before you sleep. You're just choosing what it processes instead of leaving it to random worry and stress.